So this summer I've come off a long, hard-working school year that I think I deserve a little bit of respite, and I have been enjoying my rest. But I'm still working. I'm doing handyman work on the side, and I'm working towards personal projects, and I'm also taking 2 online classes this summer. But throughout my time so far, I have come to notice that when I'm not attending my online class or going to the gym or working on scripts, most of my downtime is spent hopping between various forms of media consumption. Generally, the day goes from reading to doing schoolwork and going to the gym, and then I'll get home and I'll watch something on YouTube, or I'll turn on a movie, or I'll read some more. Or hell, maybe I'll turn on a movie, finish the movie, and then read some more. And I don't think this is necessarily bad due to the quality of the content I'm consuming. I mean, I'm reading Lonesome Dove, an incredible epic novel. Almost done with it. I just hit page 720 this morning. It's got 850 pages, or thereabouts. And I've been working my way through the DC animated universe shows from the 90s and early 2000s, which I think are quality shows with quality themes and high production values. And needless to say, it's not slop. I'm not spending my day consuming slop, which I think helps offset the effects of my consumption. However, this has brought to my attention the balance in our lives between input and output, between consumption and creation or achievement. And not everyone is wired like this. Some people are fine sitting around all day and just scrolling TikTok or watching TV all day. And I have my days where, yeah, I'll watch YouTube all day. I can watch YouTube all day, no problem. But after a while, I start getting restless. I feel like it's not necessarily that I have to be always productive, but I think after a while my mind gets tired of all the information coming in without producing my own ideas and acting on my own creativity. Because some people don't think about the psychology or the neuroscience of it. But when you're constantly consuming stuff, and I've spoken on this in the past, if your brain is flooded with information constantly, external information, not of your own thinking, then after a while you sort of cease to think thoughtful thoughts. Like, I mean, of course you don't stop thinking, but you'll stop being as imaginative, or you'll stop being as creative. In a sense, I would even say, if you're consuming the wrong content, you'll even cease to be free thinking. A big one in this regard is social media, geopolitics spheres, and even the fear-monger in 5 o'clock news. I have known a few people who are, and previously have been, deep in the online political rabbit holes, and I've been there at times. Never to the point where it was all I was thinking about, but I've known people who got completely consumed by social media political spheres, and it just wrecks the mental health. If you're constantly flooding your brain with all the bad things that are happening around the globe, yeah, your mental health is going to be a little bit down in the dumps, similar to the events that you're learning about constantly. The fact of the matter is, after a while, if you consume a certain amount of content too much, you'll eventually start to adopt that frame of mind or that thought process. And what you consume has real influence over you, or it can have real influence over you. Let's circle back to the social media politics for a second. If you talk to normal human beings who work jobs and who go outside and who socialize with others on the regular, people really aren't as polarized in person as you would assume. But as soon as you get on Twitter, or Reddit, or hell, even TikTok, TikTok's pretty bad with it. Even Instagram, any of the social medias, hell. You would think that the country is on the verge of civil war, the world's on the verge of World War III, and there might be some truth to both of those statements. But it's not nearly as bad as it seems online. And that's the biggest issue with social media and the media, the legacy media in general. They push what is most clickable. So, in some cases that can be some wholesome stories, but more often than not, people are going to see some fear-mongering headline or caption to a video, and they're going to be encaptured by it. And they're going to watch it over and over, and they're going to send it to people, and it just spreads and spreads. And people who consume their preferred side of the political sphere over and over, I mean, you just end up in an echo chamber eventually. And it gets to a point where you're not thinking your own thoughts. And that can happen with any other form of media as well. For my next example, I want to touch on Love Island, which it's crazy popular. I'm sure you've heard about it, if you're online at all. And in this show, they glorify hookup culture and sleeping around. And when you have, with it being as popular as it is, there's millions of people watching it. And this can do numbers on society, on impressionable people, on impressionable minds. People will see the behavior in this show and they'll want to replicate it because, like I said, the show encourages and glorifies it. And I'm not one, I'm big against hypergamy and sleeping around. And, that's just my personal belief. But even outside of my own personal beliefs, I think anyone can recognize, if you really think about it, with the way that content can shape our belief systems. If you watch this enough, the actions and the approach to relationships presented in the show may eventually start to rub off on the viewers. And they may try to lead similar love lives as those on the island, which is engineered drama just for clicks. And of course sex sells, so they make it overly sexual, hypersexual. And I've got a bunch of problems with this show, and I could make a whole different video on it, but that's just another one that's been a topic of discussion amongst me and my friends a little bit. And I think that it's a big rub-off. I think it'd be a big rub-off point for people. Now, on the other hand of the spectrum, there is creation and imagination and thoughtfulness. And I would ask anyone listening, after this video is over, set a 5-minute timer. Go to a room with minimal stimuli, no music, nothing, no background noise playing. Just stare at a wall for those 5 minutes. Let your mind wander, think about whatever comes to mind. Maybe an old memory pops up, think on it, reflect on it. Think about what you could have done different in some sort of situation or something. This is a thought experiment to get your mind moving and to get the gears turning. It's not often in contemporary life that we'll let ourselves do this. We'll let ourselves ponder. The art of the ponder has been long forgotten because we think it's a waste of time. You want me to sit there in a room and do nothing for 5 minutes? That's a complete waste of time. But then again, sitting and scrolling TikTok's a complete waste of time. Playing a video game can be a complete waste of time. Watching TV, complete waste of time. Now, I would like to add a little nuance and say that some TV shows, video games, and movies can be relaxing, for sure. You get home from a long day and you want to play a good game, go for it, man. But there's a difference between high quality content that brings you real enjoyment and flooding your mind with dopamine, like scrolling TikTok, or getting yourself worked up by watching the 5 o'clock news. There's a clear distinction there, and you need to distinguish between high quality content and slop that drains you. Or, you know, you get home from a long day, alright, you want to quote-unquote doom scroll. Doom's in the name. A lot of people who do doom scroll use that exact term, doom scroll. They call it doom scrolling. You're not relaxing. You're flooding your brain with so many different forms of content and different ideas. It doesn't know how to process it. It's draining you. That sort of stuff is draining you. It's draining your emotional capacity. That's not relaxation at all. And so not only is there an issue with overconsumption, but also quality of consumption. Like I said before, a good show, a good movie, a good game, something that you actually enjoy, provide a lot more restorative benefits than scrolling 100 TikToks in the span of an hour. But also, doing nothing is also really restorative. Just the art of the ponder. Sitting there and thinking. I mean, just think about sleep. This is our restorative state. Our restive state. The brain has no external stimuli. It's computing so many different functions, and it's not being interfered with, and that is when we get our actual rest. This video started off as a discussion between the input and output, creation versus consumption. And I don't know the science behind it, but as I'm sitting here recording this and talking through these ideas, my mind feels more healthy than it does just mindlessly consuming. Like, I don't feel restless, I don't feel de-energized, but that's the sort of state that I get in after I've watched too much of something or listened to too many ideas coming into my mind that aren't mine. And I think that a lot of people could benefit from exercising their mind more. Rest your mind without external stimuli, but also exercise your mind. Jog it. I don't think this is too taxing. This is unscripted, so my mind's doing two things at once. It's creating ideas and formulating them at the same time. And I feel like I'm lightly jogging my mind. It feels good. It's a great feeling to be creating something, to be outputting with my mind instead of just using it as a tool to synthesize information and to collect information. And despite all this talk about the brain, I don't really know if I'm doing it justice. I don't know if that makes proper sense. It makes sense in my mind, but then when I speak it out, I'm not sure if the message is being properly conveyed. But I would encourage anyone to start creating more, start achieving more, and start pondering more. Pondering has been a big topic the last few videos, in fact. And there's just, see, we're too used to filling every moment, every empty moment of our lives with some sort of stimulus. We're not used to being bored. But being bored is where your best ideas can come from. It's where most of my video topics come from. When I'm bored, I don't always reach to fill the void. I'll just sit there and I'll let my mind wander. And if you sit in the boredom for a minute, after a couple minutes, the gears will start turning, and you'll start to realize how powerful and imaginative you can be. And that's a great feeling. That's a great feeling. Instead of hopping from one stimulus to another, you're creating your own stimulus internally through your thoughts and your imagination. But remember, it's about the equilibrium between input and output. It's not about always producing, always creating, or always being productive. It's fine to consume. Lord knows I'm probably gonna watch Batman later. But I've made this today, I've created today, and I might create a little bit more. It's fine to consume, just don't let it be your whole life. There's so many other things you could be doing with your time, so just consider that. And one more analogy with food here, eating healthy versus, eating junk all the time or eating too much. What you consume shapes you, and the same applies to your mind. The content you consume will shape your mind. How much you consume will shape your mind. So, just practice mindfulness. Try and find other avenues to fill your time. Or, try to just not fill the time. I consider pondering, sitting and just thinking with no external stimuli. I consider that output. I consider that creating in its own regard, because you're creating thoughts and you're thinking. But apologies if this one's a little bit all over the place. I hope it's not. Like I said, this is fresh off the dome, no script. I wanted to create. I had the drive to create, so I went out and did it. It's as simple as that. But I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something, and I hope you think on it. Till next time, take care.